Do you really think TSA stops everything dangerous at the airport? The truth is, they don't. Tests have shown weapons and banned items still slip through, and most passengers have no idea. These are real secrets from audits and reports that TSA doesn't want to talk about. Some of them will shock you. And number 7 is the scariest of all. So stay with me to the end as we uncover 10 airport security secrets you were never meant to know. And if you want my list of TSA-approved travel essentials, check the video description. Don't forget to subscribe because the next time you fly, this could matter to you.
Secret number 1. Those new high-tech CT scanners. TSA has been talking about them for years. These machines can scan your bag in 3D, so officers see liquids, electronics, and even small hidden items much more clearly. With CT, you don't have to pull out your laptop or separate tiny bottles of liquid. In simple words, it's faster, safer, and smarter. But here's the problem. They're not everywhere. In fact, only a small number of big US airports like JFK or Atlanta have started using them. Most airports still use the older X-ray machines. And those older machines can't see inside liquids properly. That's why the 100 milliliter liquid rule still exists. What does this mean for you as a traveler? It means your experience depends on luck. At one airport, you might get to keep your laptop inside your bag. At another, you're stuck pulling it out, dumping water bottles, and even throwing away expensive toiletries. The security level isn't the same everywhere, and TSA doesn't really advertise that. And if you think that's worrying, wait until you hear what happens with your checked luggage, because secret number 2 is even more surprising.
Secret number 2, the famous liquids rule. You know it as the 311 rule. Bottles must be 100 milliliters or less, all packed inside a tiny clear bag. Most travelers think it's about how dangerous liquids are, but the real reason is much simpler and more frustrating. The old X-ray machines can't see through large bottles of liquid. That's it. It's not about size, it's about technology. Now here's what TSA doesn't always tell you. There are quiet exceptions. Things like baby formula, breast milk, liquid medicine, and special dietary drinks are allowed in larger amounts if you declare them. But many passengers don't know this and end up throwing away items they could have carried. This creates a weird double standard. At one checkpoint, a traveler might have their medication waved through. At another, someone else with the same bottle could be told to toss it out. It's confusing, it feels unfair, and it happens because the rule is really about machines, not about actual liquid danger. And if you think the liquids rule is frustrating, just wait. Secret number 3 shows how even your checked luggage isn't as safe as you think. Secret number 3, your checked bag is not as safe as you think. Most travelers believe once their suitcase goes on the belt, it's fully scanned and nothing dangerous can slip through. But official audits tell a very different story. The Department of Homeland Security has run secret tests on TSA's checked baggage system. In some of these tests, fake explosives and banned items actually made it through without being caught. That means the machines and the process aren't perfect, not even close. In fact, reports have shown failure rates so high that investigators called the results alarming. For passengers, this is a big deal. We usually worry only about carry-ons, but checked bags can be just as risky. Just because you don't see your bag doesn't mean it's secure. And sometimes items get damaged, misplaced, or even stolen during the process. But TSA rarely talks about that side of it. So next time you drop off your suitcase, remember, out of sight does not mean out of risk. And speaking of screening, wait until you learn how TSA decides who gets pulled aside. Secret number 4, those so-called random checks at the airport. Have you ever been stopped for extra screening and told it's just random? Well, the truth is, it's not always random. TSA uses data and patterns to decide who gets pulled aside. Things like one-way tickets,
Paying with cash or last-minute bookings can raise a flag. Even your travel history or the countries you visited might put you on their list. To you, it feels like bad luck, but to TSA, it's part of a profile. On top of that, they also use something called behavioral detection. Officers are trained to watch for nervous body language or unusual behavior. But this program has been criticized for bias because what looks suspicious can often come down to someone's race, culture, or even how tired they look. So next time you're told it was just chance, remember, there's often more going on behind the scenes. And if you think that's worrying, wait until you hear about airport staff themselves. Secret number 5 shows why insiders can be a bigger risk than passengers. Secret number 5. The biggest danger at airports may not be the passengers at all. It's the people who already work there. Baggage handlers, cleaners, contractors, even some airline staff. They often have special access to areas that travelers never see, and that access can become a massive loophole. Over the years, there have been cases where insiders were caught smuggling weapons, stealing from bags, or even helping move illegal items through checkpoints. TSA itself admits that insider threats are one of the hardest problems to control, because these workers don't go through the same level of screening every single day that passengers do. For travelers, this means security is not only about what's in your carry-on, it's also about who has access behind the scenes. If even one employee abuses their position, it can put everyone at risk. And if you think that's unsettling, just wait. Secret number 6 reveals why the airport you fly from could change everything about your safety.
Secret number 6. Not all airports are equal when it comes to security. Big international hubs like JFK in New York or LAX in Los Angeles often get the newest scanners, more officers, and extra security layers. These airports handle millions of travelers, so they're first in line for better technology. But smaller or regional airports, many of them still use outdated machines and have fewer staff on duty. That means the level of screening can actually be weaker, even though the rules look the same on the surface. In fact, experts say that someone trying to sneak something through would probably choose a small airport because the equipment and checks aren't as strict. For travelers, this creates an uneven system. The safety you get at one airport may not match the safety at another. And most passengers never realize that their risk level changes just by flying from a smaller city. And if you think machines and staff are the only weak points, think again. Secret number 7 shows just how often dangerous items can still slip past security, and the numbers might shock you. Secret number 7, the scanners and officers don't catch everything. The TSA runs what are called red team tests. Basically, undercover agents try to sneak fake weapons or explosives through security just to see if the system works. And the results? Shocking. Some reports revealed failure rates as high as 70%. That means in the past, most of those fake threads actually made it past the checkpoint without being noticed. Imagine sitting on a plane knowing that. Now, to be fair, TSA has improved in recent years, updating tech and retraining staff, but even today, experts admit that gaps still exist. The truth is, no system is perfect. Security can reduce risk, but it can never eliminate it completely. And passengers almost never hear about these failure rates. But here's where things get even more surprising. Secret number 8 isn't about threats coming in. It's about how much TSA actually misses when it comes to things going out. And that flips the whole story upside down.
Secret number 8, the real fight isn't just at the security checkpoint anymore. It's in cyberspace. Every time you scan your passport, check in at a kiosk, or even tag your luggage, massive amounts of personal data are moving through airport systems. And here's the scary part. Those systems are prime targets for hackers. Think about it. Hackers could disrupt baggage networks, steal passenger data, or even manipulate boarding passes. In fact, several cybersecurity firms have warned that airports are now among the most vulnerable parts of critical infrastructure. Yet most passengers have no clue that while they're focused on their water bottle size, their digital information might be the thing at risk. TSA has acknowledged this, and some airports are beefing up defenses. But experts say the cyber game is always a step behind attackers, which means the battleground for aviation security isn't just physical anymore, it's digital. And if you thought that was unsettling, wait until you hear secret number 9. It's about how much of your security actually depends on private contractors, not government officers.
Secret number 9. Sometimes the best security tool isn't high-tech at all. It's a dog. Explosive sniffing dogs are trained to detect even the faintest scent of dangerous materials, and in many tests, they've actually beaten expensive machines. Here's the shocker. In crowded areas like security lines or baggage claim, dogs can pick up smells that scanners completely miss. That's why you'll often see canine units patrolling big airports during peak travel times. Their noses are millions of times more sensitive than ours, and in certain cases, even better than X-ray machines. But here's the catch. Dogs aren't everywhere. Smaller airports rarely have them, and even at major hubs, they can't cover every checkpoint. So while they're incredibly effective, most passengers never benefit from this extra layer of security. Which brings us to our final secret, and it's about how many of the people checking you at security aren't even TSA employees.
Secret number 10, the machines aren't the only ones watching. Beyond X-rays and metal detectors, airports are rolling out a whole new layer of surveillance. Facial recognition cameras scan your face as you walk to the gate. AI systems track how you move, who you're with, and even your body language. And biometric kiosks are quietly storing data every time you scan a passport or boarding pass. Most travelers think the only check is at the conveyor belt, but in reality, you're being watched in ways you'll never notice. Here's the twist. Much of this data is stored and sometimes shared with other agencies. While it's sold as for your safety, privacy experts warn that passengers rarely know how much personal information is being collected. So next time you pass through security, remember, the process doesn't stop when you clear the checkpoint. You might be in the boarding area, but the airport is still keeping an eye on you. So next time you walk through airport security, remember, it's not just about taking off your shoes or pulling out a laptop. These hidden gaps and secret practices shape every trip you take. Now I want to hear from you. What's the weirdest thing you've ever had flagged at security? Drop it in the comments. I'll be checking them out. And if you want more insider travel hacks, make sure you hit that subscribe button before your next flight. Oh, and I've also listed my TSA-approved travel essentials in the description. Check them out if you want to breeze through security with less stress.